Okay, so first up is Dr. Arrington.
I don't believe he's popped on yet.
Okay. Do we want to just go to the?
Yes.
Okay. Next up then is Dr. Helen Bailey, the community superintendent.
Dr. Grimm there. Okay, well, I'm here.
Okay, that's good. All right, well, let's go to Guam. So Mrs. Wiley is here, and welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm the community superintendent for Pac West Guam Dodea Schools. And I would like to just share a little bit about myself. I've been in Guam for 2 years. This is my second full year, third school year. And I came from Okinawa as a principal. I was a principal for about 16 years. So my background is extensive. I'm certified in special education, regular education, and I've been a behavior manager, educational prescriptionist, assistant principal. And I'm excited to be in Guam. Very exciting times. Came in September of 2019, and I have been here through COVID, pandemic, remote learning, face-to-face learning, and it is very exciting.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm so excited to work with you. Next is the administration from Guam High School.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. I apologize. My name is Chad Struess. I am the assistant principal here at Guam High School. And we soon will be having a principal within the next, hopefully, few weeks. And so this is my first year here at Guam. Been here for a month now. So it's been a great learning experience to be here. Just quick little background. 33 years in education, or 30 years in education, anywhere from teaching to being assistant principal, assistant superintendent, and ISS, instruction system specialist for science. So my bachelor's degree is in chemistry. And so it is a great opportunity to be here in Guam during this time and in this position. I'm really excited to be here and work with the students here at Guam High School. Thank you.
May we kind of backtrack, because I saw Dr. Grimm on.
Oh, sure. Yes, of course.
Dr. Grimm, would you like to introduce yourself, please? He's muted.
Yeah, unmute.
And Dr. Arrington is on.
He's muted.
I think.
Dr. Grimm, you're muted.
Well, let's try that again. Hello, everyone. I'm Joel Grimm. I'm the Chief of Staff for the Pac West School District, and I just left Guam yesterday. I was down there for a week and was able to meet a lot of new people, visit schools, and I was there also 3 weeks ago with Dr. Arrington. So I'm getting to know your community. Even though Guam and Korea joined together over a year ago, because of COVID, we had not had the opportunity to visit Guam. So it's been a great experience to come down there and see and put boots on the ground and meet everyone. So I just want to say ahead of time, thank you very much for the service you're going to provide to our community. Both my father and my father-in-law served on school boards. And so my wife and I remember that, and they did some great things. And so what you're going to do this year for the Guam community, all I can say is thank you for your giving of your time and your talents. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Nice meeting you. Did we see Dr. Arrington as well?
Yes, we see Dr. Arrington is on. Dr. Arrington, would you like to introduce yourself and say a few words, please?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Can you hear me okay? Somebody give me a sign or
Yeah.
something? Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. Jeff Harrington, Superintendent, Pacific West District, which includes, of course, South Korea and Guam. And I've spent 8 years of my career there at 2 different times, once up on Anderson and once down in Agate. And so I'm looking forward to a new year, our second year together again, and go school board.
Thank you so much. And did Dr. Bailey join at all, or should I go to?
Yeah, she probably will not.
Okay, all right, thank you so much, nice meeting you all. So we had Guam High School, so McCool Elementary and Middle School introduction?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Willette Warren Barnes, new principal at McCool Elementary Middle School. Actually, I was the principal at Anderson Elementary School for 11 years. So I'm starting my 12th year here on Guam at McCool Elementary Middle School with these wonderful Princeton House of mine. It's a wonderful school, wonderful staff, and I'm just excited to be working with everyone. Of course, everyone within our Pac West Guam district. I lived in Japan for 20 years, and I served in different capacities, and so I'm a 38-year veteran of the Dodea system and a 43-year educator. So I have extensive background and knowledge in education. That's really all I've known most of my life. And so I'm still trying to make a difference in children's lives and in the communities I serve. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Do you want to introduce yourself as well?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm Tarsha Washington. I've been here, I'm assistant principal at McCool Elementary Middle School. I've been here almost 1 year. And I'm the veteran on the staff, but not really. So I've been with Dodea for 14 years, working with Department of Education in different capacities for leadership. But this is my first year as an administrator. So, and excited to be here and excited to lead.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Atkinson. I'm coming up on almost 5 months, so I came in the tail end of the school year and came from Texas. My husband retired after over 30 years of service in the Army, and I served in the Army for 14 years before I became a teacher. And then I am on the 4th year as an administrator, only in middle school, so that's kind of my specialty. And we're excited to be here. But having a lot of fun with the personnel and the students at McCool. It's really a special school, a very unique community. They've just been so warm and welcoming. We're so happy to be here.
Wonderful, thank you so much. Anderson Elementary then?
So my name is Elise Struess, and I've been here about a month as well. And I came from South Korea recently, where I was the principal over there at Humphreys West at Camp Humphreys. And before that, I was a principal in the States, and I taught for 4 years. I've also taught about 10, I can't remember, 15 years. I lose track. It seems like a long time. But I love it. I love being in the classroom. I love being engaged with the students and with the teachers, and just really helping out and being creative and innovative and helping everybody just grow. The kids grow, the teachers grow to help our community thrive.
Thank you so much, welcome. And Anderson Middle School.
Hello all, I am Thais Dial. I am the proud principal of Anderson Middle School. Go Dragons! I started here in Guam in 2018 at Anderson Elementary School. I worked alongside Dr. Willette Warren Barnes until they stole her from me. And so that's kind of what happened. I joined Dodea in 2011, started in Camp Lejeune. Prior to that, I worked in Southern California and the public and private sector, so I have a lot of background knowledge. This is my 20th year in education. I tell people I know I only live 20 months. And I have background in SPED. I started in SPED, and also I've been a TA. I've been every position you can name. So, and I've also worked in Beverly Hills Unified. So that was fun. So I just enjoy Dodea and all the people that I get to meet and all the wonderful colleagues that I get to steal their things. You know, stealing and sharing is caring, right, y'all? And also with the kids, like that is my passion. I love these kids. I consider them mine when they're with me. They're, you know, I have 268 children. So, welcome.
Thank you so much. Okay, so now I guess we will introduce ourselves. We have one virtual member that's joining us, Shantae Ferguson. If you want to go first, so then we can, well, since you're joining us virtually, there we go.
Hey everyone, I'm Shantae Ferguson, and yes, I'm virtual. I'm back here stateside for a few more weeks. My daughter is at Anderson. She's in pre-K. A little bit about me. I was first started as a substitute, and then I went on to teach high school web design, and now I teach transitioning veterans IT certs, basically. So education is big to me. I love it so much. I'm really excited to be a part of the school board. I think we are an awesome crew, and I can't wait to work with everyone. Thanks.
Thanks so much. Mr. Carlson?
Hello, everyone. I'm Josh Carlson, Air Force out of Anderson. Currently, I work for the Office of the Inspector General. I'm out here with my wife and 2 kids. We're here for 3 years. I have a daughter that goes to the middle school, and then a son that goes to high school. And yeah, so we're loving it. Having a good time. My wife, she teaches middle school for Guam School District. So, and my mom, she's an educator as well. So I part-time instruct for Embry-Riddle. So education is big in our house, and this is a great way to get involved. I'm very humbled and grateful for the vote of confidence to be elected and serve on this board. And I'm looking forward to working with everyone and really trying to make a difference for our students. And I'm an Army brat and not a product of Dodea schools, but I over a few years did attend some Dodea school in Italy. So as a high school student, I kind of know that. I'm a product. Okay, I'll claim it. So looking forward to working with you.
Thanks. My name is Vicki Sickles. My husband's at Sector Guam in the Coast Guard. This is my 15th year. This is my first year not teaching, so it's very odd to me. I've taught in, I've taught in 6 states. I've taught kindergarten, 3rd, 4th, 1st grade. So I have my degree in elementary ed and then my master's in reading and English as a second language. So I love education, and I love McCool so far. My kids ride their bikes to school. We see you every morning, so it's very important. And I'm just happy. I'm excited to be on the other side. My husband's pretty busy, so I just was not in the cards to get a full-time teaching job. But I'm very happy to be here, and I can't wait to see what the schools and community are doing together. So.
Hi everyone, my name is Allison Hermanson. We just got here in July. My husband is Army and we're at Anderson. I know Army. I served in the Air Force for 14 years as a flight medic. I have a 2nd grader, 1st grader, and preschool at Anderson. So I just wanted to be just to show my kids that parents involved in their education and that it's a huge cornerstone and the family entity. So like you said, your husband's busy, mine is too, and it's always in and out the door. So just knowing that they have the stability and the support that we're here for them. So that means everything.
And Mr. Buck, our last member.
I'm Joe Buck. I am a chaplain at Naval Base Guam on that team over there. And I come to Guam, let's see, we came in December. I've got a wife and 2 kids, a daughter who's 12 and a son who's 10. They're at McCool, elementary and middle. We're representing both right now. But I was going to say, I come from a long line of educators. My grandmother taught English in a school in rural Alabama. And my parents both put a combined 80 years in the higher ed in Savannah. And so I followed in their footsteps at some level. So I went to Naval Academy and I started, gathering up degrees. I got a bachelor's degree. I got out after my 5 years of service, got an MBA, drawn to the academic side, taught statistics to business majors at Auburn. Went to work on a PhD in finance and teaching statistics again to business majors down at Florida State.
I was gonna ask you about where you roll tide, but.
Thanks. But anyway, then I felt a transition to college ministry and went to Emory to get my Master of Divinity. Eventually got a Doctor of Ministry at Asbury, and enjoyed teaching. Taught some at Valdosta State where we were before we came here as well in the business school. And so I know that side of it. My dad's also the president of the Savannah-Chatham County School Board. So after he retired, he did that. So that's kind of, again, following footsteps. I want to serve and love education, and I love educators. And so I'm just glad to be here and able to help in any way I can.
Awesome. What a diverse, and I love this. This is great. Okay, so the next business agenda is standards of conduct. Should I read over that?
Yeah.
Okay. So the standards of conduct, just to reiterate, the agenda items must be submitted in writing via email to our email, which is guamschoolboard@gmail.com, no later than the first Tuesday of the month to the school board for consideration. Meetings will start promptly at 6 p.m. and end no later than an hour and a half after the start. The prepared agenda will be followed with the possibility of changing the order of presentation to accommodate the presenters. The board has the right to limit public discussion time. Issues will be addressed in a courteous, professional manner, and the meetings will be conducted in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order, which I printed out in my cheat sheet of it, so we should be all good. So those are the standards of conduct. Are there any questions about that? Good to me. Okay, great. So the next order of business is voting for the school board positions. There are president, vice president, and secretary. Since this is my first time, do we say I nominate one person and then the board seconds it? Okay. Should I start with secretary? Okay. All right. As for secretary, I nominate Allison for secretary.
I second.
Second, thank you. All in favor?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Shelley. Thank you. All right. Yeah, only we will vote, right?
Okay.
Just making sure. Okay, just making sure. Okay. All right. So Allison is our secretary today. I nominate Mr. Joe Buck for vice president.
Yes.
Second, okay. All in favor? Aye.
Yes.
All right. Congratulations, Mr. Buck.
I nominate Vicki Sickles for president.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. Okay. All right. So we have our positions. All right. So moving on to the next item, the community superintendent report is going to be presented by Mrs. Gail Wiley.
Is there any way that you could put the slide up?
Don't have your stuff.
Okay. So I'll just talk about, starting with the enrollment, I'll do virtual instruction. At Anderson Elementary School, we have 7 students that are in virtual instruction. Anderson Middle School, we have 3 students in virtual instruction. Guam High School, we have 8 students. And McCool, we have 11. In-person instruction, Anderson Elementary School, 797 students. Is that correct, Ms.? Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
And for middle school, we have 264, and if we have any numbers off, please let me know. Guam High School, we have 494. McCool, we have 835. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Last count, it was 843, so we have lost that one.
Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna go into,
We do have, to going back, just 2 kids in DBS at A&M.
okay. So now you only have two kids in, virtual.
Yeah.
Right?
At A&M?
So you lost one. One came back face to face. Okay. All right. I would like to talk about mitigation. I would like to share, I'm not sure that everyone saw the video that the Admiral at JRM, Joint Region Marianas, video, and Captain Scott, the hospital commander, recorded. So will you be able to show that?
And I don't have any of this.
You don't have any of that?
Nope, this is not.
Oh, and I thought you
Nobody
sent it to
did
me.
anything.
Sorry. Mrs. Strauss, are you able to?
If you'll talk a little bit, maybe we can.
Okay. Okay, I'll just go to the transportation piece that I wanted to talk about and share with the parents, to let the parents know that we have started assigning seats on buses. You probably have received that information. We think that this would be a good way forward to ensure that we can best do our contact tracing if we need to. So we have started that, we started Monday. Will the other principals give me an update of, as far as your buses? Have you all started already?
Yes, ma'am.
We're actually completed as of today.
So you started at McCool,
Yes, we completed today. Seating them.
completed it?
Yes.
And
Anderson Complex is still in the process. We had a few students that were enrolled, and so we want to get those, and we'll have those Thursday, and we'll send it forward. But yes, we have an almost complete roster for our bus seating assignments.
so I would like to appeal to the parents and ask if you would please assist us with students sitting in their assigned seating, students wearing their masks correctly. I know that the administrators, the teachers, myself, if we see a student with a mask under the chin and they are 3 feet or closer to another student, we always remind them. It's easy for a young kid, a pre-kinder, kindergarten student. I mean, we are not comfortable with a mask, but we do know that CDC, we see it all the time, every day. The 3 things that we must do: social distance, wear your mask, and wash your hands. So please just encourage your students with that. Another thing we are asking the parents to please do is to send in their acknowledgement form saying that you will check your child every morning before they leave home to ensure that they are feeling well to come to school. And if you don't have the form, we will ensure that you get that form from the school. Please reach out to the office, the school offices, and ask for the form. Because I think there's a drop dead date, was it the 20th? That if the parents hadn't sent the form in, that was,
Dr. Grimm had a date for us. I can't remember the date. You guys-
Dr. Can you hear us? Are they still there?
I can hear you, yes.
Sir, would you like to just provide a little more information on that? About the acknowledgement form and children having the forms in by today, I thought.
Yes, glad to do that. So DODEA in our operational guide has a pre-screening form that all parents need to review, acknowledge, and sign, and which they agree to check their children each morning for any COVID-related symptoms. And that's a required document that's turned in based on those operational guidelines. So also contractors and our employees are required to sign that. Today, it was a deadline for having those in, and I'm sure some parents got some calls today from administrators saying we don't have this. So we really want to keep children in school, but in order for them to continue attending, they need to have that form signed and turned in. I know our registrars, our front office staff have worked very hard in trying to get those forms turned in. They've notified some parents 4 and 5 times. So we did have to set a hard deadline for this morning. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Graham. Okay, now we're going to see this wonderful video by Admiral.
Hoffaday, Team Guam. Captain Scott and I are together again to discuss the health and safety of our students, teachers, and the faculty members at the island's DODEA schools. Our schools have always been a place where learning in a safe and healthy environment is paramount. In order to ensure that the schools remain open for face-to-face instruction, we have been enforcing all appropriate mitigation measures to include ensuring our school communities are watching their distance, wearing their masks, washing their hands frequently, and reporting close contacts to stop the spread of COVID-19. I've asked Captain Scott from the Naval Hospital to join me so that she may share with you the trends we are experiencing among our DODEA students and clarify some of the questions we have received from our parents.
Thank you, Admiral. I would like to thank all of the parents for doing an outstanding job monitoring your children's symptoms prior to sending them to school. Your efforts have been crucial in preventing the spread. To date, there have been less than 25 positive cases involving school-aged children across all DODEA schools on Guam. The DODEA staff, including our nurses and teachers, have been extremely proactive in ensuring that close contacts have been identified and family members have been notified appropriately. According to the CDC guidelines, children are not considered close contacts as long as they are consistently and correctly wearing their masks and following the measures schools have put in place to stop the spread of COVID-19. Our students and staff have been doing a fantastic job ensuring that we are following these rules in the classroom, but where we need your help is on the school buses. Please continue to talk to your children about the importance of wearing their masks to protect themselves and their classmates, especially in close quarters like on the school bus. I would also like to take time to clarify the policy with regard to positive cases in the home and the decision to send students into school. In your household, if any family members test positive and have a fully vaccinated child who tests negative, that child can continue to attend school as long as they are symptom-free. Conversely, if a child is unvaccinated and family members test positive and are unable to properly isolate, the child is deemed a close contact and should not attend face-to-face classes. They will then be notified by public health of their quarantine status.
Captain Scott, thank you. This is vital information. We appreciate the clarification. These CDC guidelines apply to all DODEA schools in Guam. Proper contact tracing is critical to the health and safety of our children, and we will continue to remain extremely cautious and vigilant in identifying and reporting all potential close contacts. We are committed to working closely with the DODEA school community and the fine folks at the Naval Hospital to ensure that we are making the best decisions for our children. Again, this is a community-wide effort. combating COVID-19 begins with you, with me, with each of us, doing our part to take the necessary precautions, to get your vaccine, and to mind the 3 W's. Wear a mask, wash your hands, and watch your distance. Do this in the schools and especially on the school buses. Thank you again for all that you're doing as one team, one community, and one family to beat this silent enemy. Stay strong, stay safe, and please get vaccinated.
Thanks for showing that. So that's my report. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Gold, excuse me for 1 second.
Yes.
Ms. Wally, I just digress one moment when we were talking about the buses. We've really stressed the importance of all of our young people who are on the bus to stay in their seatbelt and do not get up, because that's another way that they may even be able to spread the virus because they don't stay in their seats. And so we have gotten on several buses because we know that children are not staying in their seats. And so we insist that they buckle up as soon as they get on and stay buckled.
And I would like.
Very important.
Thank you, sorry.
Yes, ma'am. No worries, ma'am.
The point of the administrators and our transportation officers assigning seats for hours on end is for the students to stay in their seats. I am going to say that possibly we might have to implement discipline for the students that we find are not staying in their seats.
And are the buses at 100% capacity?
We are, not all of them,
Okay,
not all of
but they're full, they're full though. Yeah.
them.
No, that's, yes, definitely. We want them to stay in school.
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay, so we have principals' reports from each of the schools. We can start with Anderson.
All right, so some of the highlights that we've done, we did have kind of an increase of number of kids that went on ROM. And so in order to best support our students, we came up with some different ways to help get the instruction to them while they are at home. So we had teachers allowing the kids to call in and participate in live instruction. We had a few classes that got down to just a few kids, so we combined to allow the teachers to alternate to team teach and then also support those kids in instruction too. We are working on a plan to help continue that support for those students who, if they do have to quarantine or go on ROM, that they can stay caught up with their classmates and also receive support as they come back to stay caught up on any classwork that has been missed. So our team has done a really great job thinking outside the box and trying to support those kids to help with their academic, but also keeping them safe as well. But I'm proud to announce that most of our kids are all back in school today. So we're very excited about that. It's nice to go into the classrooms and see them full again. And the kids are happy, they're wearing their masks. You know, just a simple reminder, if it slips down, they're pretty good about pulling it up. So they're doing a great job. For our kiss and drop, we were able to keep everything the exact same as it has been, but we added just a slight sorting when they get in, when they come down. Instead of all of us getting on the radio and calling out the number multiple times, we came up with a system where they just flip on the board, they see the number, they pull it down, and then they go find that spot on the floor. So it automatically puts the kids in order of where the cars are without us having to shout over them with the number. And they are doing it themselves. They just come up, they grab it. We even have kids trained to put the new cards up for the next day, the ones that usually have to stay behind because their parents are a little later. They love that job, it keeps them busy. So it's just, it monitors itself, and we've cut down the time. We started out at 40 minutes to today we had everybody in their cart by 10 minutes after the bell.
Wow, that's
So
impressive.
it's pretty seamless and it's gone really well, but that came with all of us working together and just trying something new, but keeping what we had already in place and working well, so. That was good. And then the last highlight is that we are getting ready to start Dolphin TV, which we've had Mr. Svensson and the high school ET help us as well to get our studio up and going, because we want to air live every day. so that we can talk with the students. It's great for us to communicate with them and share those great things that are happening in the classroom, for administration to talk with the kids every day, and for the kids to just take that real life experience and run a news show. And so we'll be doing that starting October 13th, if everything goes right. But we just set out the applications. We're doing 4th and 5th grade students. They are able to apply. They have a little interview process that they're going through, and then we'll select, and then we will start training them so they can learn how to run the whole newscast themselves. So we're very excited about that as well.
That's awesome.
That's very awesome.
Thank you so much. Anderson Middle School?
Well, we have kicked off many clubs at Anderson Middle School, including robotics, chess club, art club, yearbook, math count, student council will have presentations and speeches this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and also our band and music club. However, I just wanted to highlight that our MFLAC started a club called Society of Teens That Care. That is a club that empowers teens to volunteer, build self-confidence, learn teamwork skills, and they do a lot of stuff within the community. And they also talk and have different topics of teen talk with them, like stress management, empathy, caring for others, coping with deployments and transitions. So that's going to be a wonderful club. It's on Fridays from 2:20 to 3:20. And then also on September 13th, our wonderful counselor alongside our wonderful school psychologist, Dr. Harvey and Ms. Chamberlain, begin visiting classes, delivering our Signs of Suicide program content. This program seeks to teach students about mental health and how to seek help if they're worried about themselves or a friend. And I think that's so important in the environment we're living in right now. Our kids are stressed too, so we have to remember that. And so they have age-appropriate video clips, and they participate in a guided discussion. I had a chance to go and listen, and those kids are really receptive, and they know what to do. And it's just a powerful conversation. And then my last one is a cheap plug for our Guam accreditation visit. Mark your calendars on October 5th at 9 a.m. Anderson Middle School and Elementary parents. Be a part of our conversation with Cognia, our accreditation partners who just have discussions with our stakeholders just to see what's going on in our schools. So more information will be sent in our newsletters about it, but we just wanted you guys to know ahead of time.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Cool.
Okay, good evening once again. We had such a moving 20th anniversary commemorative September 11th, 2001 museum that took place, and we had pictures that just talked about when certain events occurred. We had video messages from different staff members who were asked to talk about what they remembered about 2001, September 11th, and it was just so moving. And I told the staff that I'm not even one who cries, but I was just so moved by the way our young people, 7th and 8th grade social studies students, just ran the entire museum. It was just phenomenal and very, very noteworthy and very touching. So we just thank them so much. Ms. Wiley also was able to see the museum, and she took a picture with us along with some of our Navy-based Guam firefighters. So it was really just a wonderful experience. Yes, ma'am.
You all did have it posted on the Dodea website.
We did. On our Facebook page.
We're still
So
working
you
with
didn't
the
send
Facebook.
it up to Mr. Griffin?
We've reached out, we haven't heard back.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's
So we're on
the
it.
Facebook.
Yes, but it's on our school's Facebook page. Well, also, we're addressing each day this week for our first Spirit Week in honor and celebration of Commander William Cameron Willie McCool's birthday, a former NASA astronaut for which our school is actually named. Our attire for today is supposed to be wacky tacky And so we did our best, but, you know, we wasn't trying to give a decent impression that we're at the same time in the moment. So it's been a good day and a good 2 days. And Thursday is Commander McCool's actual birthday, and so that is designated as Space Day. So the staff and students are really very excited. We've all been dressing up, and the kids, our public affairs officer has been posting pictures of our 2 days on our Facebook page. So we're very delighted and full of spirit this week. And then we're having our first second cup of coffee. It's a virtual parent forum that is scheduled for this coming Friday morning, September 24th from 8 until 9, and we're going to send out the Google Meet link. We just are very concerned about having so many people within the school, so we're gonna keep things as a virtual format until such time that we're able to have more parents come. But we're going to post that in Aspen, which is our student. We send messages to all of our parents that are Aspen, and we also want to place it on our McCool Facebook page. And it really is an opportunity for parents just to ask questions and share insights about how we can make our great school even bigger, because that's always our goal. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And finally, Guam High School.
Yes, we've been able to allow our students to participate in sports activities while we're open. And of course, for those who do not know, we compete against the Guam schools, and they've had to go up on remote, and so they've had to pause. Some good news is that they're coming back out, and so when it comes to sports activities, those will start coming back together, and we'll actually be able to have competition against our fellow schools here in Guam. So that's an exciting thing. We've had our Panther Network News up and running from day one, ran by the students with Mr. Mancuso, our educational technologist, and they do a wonderful job in presenting a variety of items, both the announcements along with interest stories, current events in the news, and they're very professional at it. It's been fun to actually be in there with them as they're doing it. Having to go in front of them on the first day, it was a little nerve-wracking for myself, because I kind of like to be in that background and let them shine. But they wanted me to welcome everybody in, and it was a great experience. They get to critique themselves and each other, and in order to improve the presentation and the quality that they're giving to the students. And so that's running strong. Finally, the last thing I want to bring out is that today I got to participate with the health occupation class as a patient. And I'll tell you what was really great about it was they were learning how to wash a patient's hair.
Tell us about it.
So, the hairdo that I have right now isn't my current hairdo. Needless to say, I have my hair washed and blow dried and all works. And we are, one of the great things that is so neat and so special about Guam High School is we are training our students, both academically and in vocational manners, to be able to go out into this world and help lead the way. Of course, being in the CNA program is a stepping stone for some, but it's an excellent opportunity, whether they want to do that in their life forever or as that stepping stone. They're going to have that skill by the time that they finish high school. So it was nice that they asked me and I got to go participate with them today. So some great things happening. Wish I had all night to tell you, but I'll leave it there at this point.
We were wondering why your hair looked so great.
Mystery solved. I would like to comment about Mr. Strobes. He has come in within the month, both Mr. Edmonds and Strobes and Dr. Hornbarn, and all of the schools in Guam have new administrators, one or two new administrators. And they have come in and hit the ground running. So I appreciate everything that you all have done to just move our kids forward in these challenging times. And you've done a wonderful job. So thank you very much. We will have 2 new additions to Anderson Elementary and Guam High School. We will have a new assistant principal at Anderson Elementary and new principal, and she has been officially announced and she should be here by October 12th, and that's Mrs. Katrina Watts. So we're looking forward to that coming.
That's great. Thank you. It's so nice to hear all of the positive things that are going on within the schools. All right, the next order of business on the agenda is new business. We just need to approve the board meeting dates. So the next meeting would be November 16th at Anderson Elementary, and then February 16th at McCool, and then April 19th would be the final one at Anderson Middle School. So I think that's just for us, correct? As long as we, that's fine with me. Is there any, are all in favor of those dates? Are you in favor? Okay, is that, okay, we'll sign that in just a,
Here's the form.
oh, perfect, okay. Okay, we'll sign that in just a minute then. Okay, the old business, as the uniform and dress code, we just wanted as to make sure that everyone, it was approved in April at the last board meeting, and it won't be revisited until 2023. But we just wanted to make sure that all of the parents were aware of the colors that were approved for elementary school, obviously not the high school. The color bottoms, the color tops, whether there are bows allowed, hair colors. So we were hoping to get perhaps like a new graphic that could go to the elementary and the middle school, just so that everyone is on the same page. Okay, is that acceptable for everyone? Just so that everyone is aware of the changes that were made, and those are going to stay in place, but we just wanted to make sure it was clear for everyone.
Now, Dr. Dial,
Yeah, we created a new graphic this year that just kind of emphasized the things that we talked about in the last board meeting. I know what was something that was, a lot of people were talking about were the logos, and they weren't exactly sure about if logos were supposed to be small or large, and we went back to the board meeting from the last time, and it did say small logos.
Yes.
So we just want to be mindful of that. We're not going to send your babies home for having a larger logo. However, we just want to make sure we're adhering to the best of our ability. Because, you know, we always talk about adult problems and kid problems, and sometimes those are more adult problems than kid problems, you know what I mean? And we want your babies to be in school. So, you know, we just remind and you know, maybe we'll ask you guys to step in and just, you know, remind as well, because sometimes you get away from us. I know my daughter does.
Yeah.
And you're like, what are you wearing?
Yeah.
So definitely.
Would you mind sharing that with the school board, the
Yes.
Gmail, and then we can, and then put it out either on, you know, the Facebook page, or if we need to send home a paper copy or something, just so everyone is on the same page.
And the graphic was great. It was just missing, people were wondering like, okay, can they wear different colored socks, or do their shoes have to be open closed? Are they allowed to wear any type of jewelry or hair accessories, different colored hair? Like, none of that information was on it, and coming from multiple schools where we could only wear white bows.
Absolutely.
You know,
we are not that stringent. No.
Also, just to have all of that there, so it is all the there isn't any second guessing, or
Got
there
it,
isn't
got it.
any.
Absolutely. And also, our handbooks are electronic now. So if you go on, it can tell you in detail about the dress code, like those types of things. Each school has a section in their handbook that addresses those particular things. And so, and we're asking parents to go on to the website, look at the handbook, and then confirm that they have read the handbook and looked at it, because it is electronic. So I will send you that as well.
Great. Thank you so much.
And also, we actually wrote the staff and said there's a moratorium on the uniform until we can make sure that everyone has the same understanding.
Great, okay.
Do not send any children to us unless you think that the child is grossly out of compliance.
Yeah.
And so we have not received one student came, and I took care of that, and I sent him that, and we have not seen any more.
Oh, great.
So we really are waiting until we have that information, so everyone has the same information.
Great.
And the same understanding.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. So next up are the stakeholders report. Oh, do you want to do that now? I don't know if that was. Okay, so I'm not sure if these people have signed on yet. Do we have the regional CYP, the program manager?
Hello, hi, I'm Barbara Askey. I'm one of 2 school liaisons. The Child and Youth Programs Manager is not on tonight.
So welcome. Do you have anything that you'd like to highlight?
Because you're next.
Is it, I can't see an agenda, so I don't know. Are school liaisons next after the child?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, don't see an agenda, so I don't know what's first, next. So hi, I'm Barbara Askey, and Marcella Atwood just came on. Hi, Marcella. Who's also a school liaison as well. And I just wanted to say congratulations to the board members for your position. And it really does sound like there's quite a wonderful diversity on the board this time, which is great. Are you able to hear me? Because I'm hearing a lot of feedback.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you.
And Marcella, did you want to introduce yourself?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marcella Atwood. I am fairly new to Guam, but not new to the school liaison field. I have been a school liaison for 5 years now. Formerly a military spouse and dependent, raised 3 kids, moved all over the world many times. So being a school liaison suits my soul. I really enjoy helping families and their children navigate not only the school systems, but just the traveling piece of being a school liaison and helping families. So tonight, Barbara and I were going to discuss a few things that have come up in our programs. One of the things that we wanted to talk about is the school liaison resources that are available to families. As we talk about resiliency with our students, we want families to know that our office has a plethora of not only digital but tangible resources that we can just give to families. So if a family is struggling with divorce or deployment, reintegration, the death of a pet or a family member, we have resources in our office. We do share this information with the school board, with school administrators and the guidance counselors. And we just want people to know that we're here and we are here to help. Barbara?
Yeah, it's great. So again, anyone who's listening and you're interested in any of those resources, you can contact us. We can give you our generic email address. We can put it in the chat. If you if you just talk to anyone in any of the 4 school, DODEA school offices, they will know how to get in touch with us as well. What else did we want to say?
Anchored for Life.
Yes, as far, yeah, resiliency and all. I mean, some of you may know, some may not, but each of well, we've got Anderson Elementary, Anderson Middle, and McCool Elementary and Middle have a student-led club called Anchored for Life, which helps welcome new kids into the school, and it teaches resiliency and transition skills to kids. And if you're interested in that information, you can either contact us or you can contact the school, and the school has an adult advisor for those programs as well. And we've already heard about the resource of the military and family life counselors. Each of the 4 schools has military and family life counselors to help you and your students with any transition issues you might have.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the information. Oh, sure, yeah. Next up is the JRM Ombudsman. Are you on?
I don't see her at the moment. That would
Do
be
we have any?
Neil, but I don't see her. She may not have been aware that this was happening. I don't know if she got the information, because she's generally here on the.
Okay. Do we have anyone from the Navy Officer Spouse Club? Do we have anyone from the Team Anderson Spouses Club? Okay. Do we have a Guam High School student representative on?
Yes.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Layla. I am the Guam High School Student Government President. Just to give you guys a few updates on our current activities. This past month, the student government held student council elections to fill our class councils. Just last week, our newly elected officers were inducted. We had a nice little ceremony in Guam High's IC. Now that our student government is complete, we will be having an executive workshop tomorrow. This workshop is basically designed to familiarize the officers with the policies and procedures of the student government, as well as to refine our leadership skills. As far as school-wide activities go, we are currently planning to have a homecoming spirit week in lieu of our traditional homecoming dance. And we hope to do this in order to accommodate COVID safety guidelines, just because we can't have a school-wide gathering with all of the students like we normally would. That is all I have for the Guam High student government updates. Thank you all for your time and attention.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Well done, Layla.
Very well done. Do we have anyone from the Anderson Elementary PTO? Do we have anybody from the Anderson Middle School PTO? Oh, PTSO?
Yes, I'm here. I'm Tiffany Mitten. I used to be on the Anderson PTSO back in 2018, and I have a daughter that is back at that school. So we just launched our online spirit store, as well as our online ordering for our new spiritware designs this year. And we're helping with yearbooks, as well as other various programs that the teachers bring up that we can support. But we do, if any parents out there are part of AMS, we need board members and volunteers, as most of our volunteers work during the day, and I'll be PCSing in December.
Thank you so much. Good luck. And anybody from the pool PTO? Okay, thank you so much for all of the updates.
The Guam High School Booster Club.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I went right over. Do you have anybody from the Guam High School Booster Club?
Absolutely.
I am so sorry. Oh my goodness.
I'm Chrissy Soul, and I am the president of the Booster Club, and I made myself quick little notes. So first of all, I want to say thank you to the school board for stepping up, because it just warms my heart that we have people. Yay. So I just want to say real quick about, I can't say more fabulous stuff about the staff and the administration, everything so far at Guam High. Like I tried to do a lot this summer, tried to get things going and everything, and all the interim people that were there. One day I talked to one interim person, another interim person, and they were all just fabulous and doing all they could to help us. There's a lot of new office staff, and they have all been great. I've been in there a lot, and they just are all we're trying to think outside the box of ways that we can do things. And a special shout out to Mr. Struess, because I'm sure of all the million emails I've sent him, he's like, Booster Club is not my priority, but he always has made me feel like we are his priority. So it has been fabulous. So I have to say, the last 2 years I was involved in Booster Club, each year we had 39 members, both years. This year we have over 40 members, and half of them are staff. So we have sold over $4,000 in spiritware. I was there today, and we're following all COVID mitigations, and we're following all we need to. But between spiritware, stickers, and membership, I made over $700 today. And so it just makes me so excited, because all that money will go back in the school in some way. So, so we're rocking at the Booster Club, and we will keep working for members and seeing what we can do to help out the kids and everything with their activities and everything. So, yeah, we're doing great. This is one of our spiritware, a student designed thing, pretty cute. So, yes, Booster Club at Guam High School is doing awesome.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that looks like it concludes all of the stakeholders report. Before we go to the open forum from the guests, we just had 2 things that we were hoping that the administration would be open to. The first, we want to support the school. And I'm sure many of the parents, and it's tough being a parent that you can't go into the school and see what your children are doing and how the teachers are interacting. So we were hoping to do maybe a spotlight, weekly spotlight of one of us being able to come in and highlighting something that you would like to be shared. We really want to highlight the positive things that are going on within the schools. So if we could come up with some sort of schedule, or if we're allowed in to take pictures and then post it and get it out to the parents to show all of the good things that are going on within the school.
Absolutely. And we want you to know that we're not saying that visitors are not allowed.
Oh.
It's just a case by case basis. Like, we're doing a lot of meetings and stuff that are in person with parents. If we can get you in, we want you in, because you guys are our biggest supporters.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll come up with some sort of schedule, and it would be, us, and then obviously the privacy of the students and whatnot. But we just want to highlight all those good things that are going on. So, and then Allison had another idea.
Yes, so like adopt a class, I guess I'm gonna say soldier, because I'm in the Army element, but having, like once a month, having a service member, it be a parent of the class or a different person coming in and reading a 10-minute story to a class. It could be like their favorite book as a kid, or their kid's favorite book or whatnot, but just having the military community be in the classroom too, so that we can all work together, and then the kids just see their support system in the class as well. So I didn't know if that was something we could possibly see if we could work on doing. I know, again, with COVID and everything, even if it had to be virtual, but just getting those heroes in the classroom with the kids.
That's great. I don't want to keep talking. You guys are talking. Yes, and that's aligned with our CSI goals. Absolutely. Just ensuring that we are committed to those partnerships. So absolutely. And we also have somebody at Anderson Middle School. We also have It Takes a Village, which are some of our service members that come in and help out. So definitely, we want to continue to foster those relationships.
Thank you so much.
So we'll be cool.
So, thank you for that, because we've been talking about that at McCool as well. It's on our heart. It's something that I used to do professionally in the military. So we've also decided to have a parent university. So in tandem with what you're planning to do, maybe we can kind of partner on that and get together for some of the topics. And for the parent university is really a forum, but also an information session for parents. And we'll do it through Google right now until we can get back to in person with a large group. But like topics such as things that the kids are doing with social media, especially middle school. We have a lot of things to talk to parents about in middle school that we observe that we're seeing in schools. And kids like to do the trends, and we have a couple right now that are kind of not good. So it's helpful for us to partner with the parents and have those conversations, because they may alert us to those sorts of things that could be a safety issue. The other thing is just informing the parents of things that we're doing at school and programs that we have, and giving them more opportunities to have that peak, so to speak, until we can get back to that normal. So we're right there with you, and we welcome that.
Great, okay, wonderful. Do we want to go to the comments? Okay, I know there were some public comments that were in the chat box. I'm not sure if we'll be able to, we'll see what we can address.
I'm gonna try to address any comment on, no, not that one. I'm
Do you want to, I think I'm going to go up to the top.
Up to the one, so is
The form with all.
Symptoms of COVID where the parents are supposed to sign it.
What about
I think, if she asked,
Yes, there,
She wants to go all the way up.
yes, that is the form.
there you go.
Now we can start
Okay.
going down and see what. Okay.
So the form is the acknowledgement form. The symptoms of COVID.
Yes, and they could just reach out to the schools and ask for an acknowledgement form, and they can send it to them. At each school.
They just need to fill it out one time, and then they screen their kids every day. That's been one of the questions that have come up a couple of times. It's just one time you fill it out, and then you're done, but just check your kid every day.
Absolutely. And if they can't come in to get the paper form, Ms. Strews did a wonderful version of that form electronically. So we've all sent those out that way as well. We sent it out multiple ways. So
Yeah, and the full send it out.
And it takes 2 minutes to fill out.
Yep.
And you can do, you get done, and then you can click it again, and let's say fill it out for another child, and you have all the information.
Does that answer your question, Ms. Roach? Are you on? I know, sorry, I apologize. We just saw those now. If a child is not vaccinated but tests negative, can they return to school? So go
Right.
to public health.
Public health will release.
What, okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Let one person respond, please, so that they can hear you. Okay. Mr.
That would be a decision made up to public health, because they will call and let the child be released. So just go through them, and then once they say they're cleared, they notify the school, and then we know it's clear to come back to school.
The next one.
So that was from Ms. Mitten. Ms. Dumfrey, what about more measures in the classroom, such as separating desks or plexiglass?
We started, yes.
Okay.
Because we talked with that particular parent, and so we're going to increase the mitigation measures in the classes.
Okay.
Mainly so that they have the barriers, because that's what we were using last year.
But also, we need to keep in mind what they said on the video. The 3 biggest things are the mask, the washing of hands, and the physically distanced pieces. So those are our biggest mitigation measures, according to CDC and also our public health.
Correct.
Can we add to that? So we met with the Navy Public Health, Commander Flynn and Lieutenant Roach last week at our school. And one of the things that they did bring up that's helpful for parents to know is they're seeing an increase in positive cases from sleepovers, slumber parties, birthday parties, bowling, a lot of things that are happening socially that we have no control over. I will say that McCool, when I got here at the end of the year, I came from public ed, and we had a lot of cases, hundreds of cases. They had not one COVID case last school year. So this school, that campus does a really good job. I think the teachers and the staff need to be applauded because they are very conscious of it. It's a virus that we can't see, and kiddos go to the bathroom and they don't necessarily wash their hands and they put their fingers in their mouth. So there's a lot of ways that it gets transmitted. I think sometimes we focus on the things that we're doing in the school, but I really feel confident that we're doing the job that we need to do to try to keep our kids safe. But the parents need to join that team and maybe, do something different than birthday parties and slumber parties until we can get over that hump.
And that's exactly what Lieutenant Rhodes told me as well, that he does not believe that it is happening in the school. It is happening outside of the school. And he has studied that. This is the leader of public health right now on Navy Base Guam.
And with that situation, the way we just described it, I understand one parent's concern, but is that reason to bring the plexiglass back when we're not hearing from healthcare to do that?
It is a good point, and I have to tell you that based on the directions we have received, we cannot mandate that teachers actually use the barriers. However, if they want to use them within the classrooms, we make them available to them. But we don't mandate that they must use them.
And a lot have in the last.
A lot have, exactly.
They requested them when we come back.
We have done like just where they have snacks, they brought out the plastic ones, put it out so they can have snack in the classroom, they keep them, and then they close them up, sanitize, they move around. Or if a particular parent would like to feel more comfortable with it, we would let a child do it as well. So.
Dr. Arrington.
Yes.
Dr. Arrington.
Yeah, Dr. Arrington would.
Yeah, yes, thank you. Just to provide a little bit of clarification, the CDC does not recommend the barriers, and so at this time, we're not using the barriers in the classroom. So to clarify, if a teacher wants to put the barrier on their own desk or use it for themselves, then that's certainly okay. If a parent would like to ask that their child use it, we can certainly look at whether that's a disruption to the learning process. But what we're not doing is letting teachers choose to put them up for kids.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Was that, Ms. Dumfrey? Teresa Dumfrey?
Good evening. So I'm sure everybody's aware of the second grade situation. My child tested negative and today tested positive for COVID 10 days after he was exposed. So I want to let you guys know that his classroom, the desks are pushed together. The kids do these things called table tents where they're touching each other. He comes home and he tells me the children aren't wearing the masks properly. So the COVID might be coming in from an outside place. Like, we know that's happening. But the problem is that children with no symptoms, because up until today, he had no symptoms and he has a little cough now. So I was like, he has COVID. I know he does because he doesn't cough like this. And I got him tested. So he could have come back next week with COVID still and have gotten more kids sick. And this is the problem, is that kids could be getting it on the outside without symptoms, bringing it into class and getting other kids sick because they are pushed into groups, they are touching hands, they aren't wearing the masks properly. So the concern is, and with our parent group, is that we're not being notified that kids are getting sick. It's just the close contacts, but these kids are close. They're not separated. They're not keeping a distance. They're touching each other. And now my kid is sick 10 days later. And how is that not disruptive? You know, a plastic barrier to keep kids safe, and they're having snack together in class without a plastic barrier? This is not safe. Half of that class is out and its teacher. So something has to change. These kids can't be this close to each other. They're too little. Thanks. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to address
Excuse me.
anything? Should we move on?
Yeah, we will definitely look into your concerns. I know that Dr. Hornbarn has looked into it. She's talking to the classroom teacher. We are all concerned about students and their well-being.
Thank you for voicing your concern. There was was there a question about leggings? Yeah. There was a question about leggings. Is there?
Can we clarify what?
Yeah.
It's not really a question.
Yeah. If anybody, Miss Kylie Wright, did you have a specific question about the leggings? Maybe perhaps if we send out a new graphic, that might help. I'm not sure what the question actually is.
And if leggings are allowed to begin with.
Yeah, I think
Leggings are usually allowed when they are under something else.
Okay.
Not in place.
Not
Okay.
correct.
Yeah.
So they need to have it covered to their.
Still there.
Okay. Ms. Melissa Horgan, do you have a question?
I do. My daughter and I actually have statements that we would like to read. Is this the time for that, or is that coming up?
It is an open forum. It's 3 minutes per person.
Okay, so we would like to be treated as two separate speakers, if that's okay.
Okay.
My daughter Kaylee is in 8th grade, and she'll speak first.
Good evening. I'm Keely Horgan, and I'm an 8th grade student at McCool Middle School. I'm here to address the sexualization of female bodies via the dress code. I would first like to thank the school board for this remarkable opportunity to voice my opinion. I've been a student at McCool since the 5th grade, at which time I had not hit puberty yet, and I bore the resemblance of a young up-and-coming tween. At this time, I had never had any issues with the dress code. Since I hit the 5th grade, which is concomitantly when I began to mature, I had numerous issues. I began to believe I was the problem, regardless of the fact that all my skirts and shirts were fully within dress code standards and had been measured prior to the beginning of school. When I hit 7th grade, teachers began to not only dress code for clothing items that met the dress code mitigations, they began to make sexualized comments pertaining to my body type. The dress code, the following are various comments made by teachers. Your thighs are too thick to wear pants. You're too developed to wear the dress. You would not want to flash any boys. You would not want to distract the boys with your uniform. One administrator remarked to another amidst gesturing at my uniform, "You handle your business with her." Another teacher stated, "I have noticed they do dress code the more developed girls with athletic body types more often." In another instance, I was standing directly next to a friend and I noticed I was being stared at by a teacher. My friend, who is tall and very slim, had shorts on that ended 6 inches above the top of her knee. Mind you, the school policy says that all shorts and skirts should be no more than 3 inches above the knee. I had a dress on that was in standards and I was dress coded. Meanwhile, a male counterpart of mine whose shorts are significantly shorter than mine, and every other female student never has to even ponder the prospect of sexualized commentary and or worry about being in compliance with the dress code. The same day one of the comments above was stated, I scored in the 90th percentile of a standardized test, the highest score in the entire grade. But that was of no importance to the McCool staff who made these belligerent remarks. The way my body looked in my uniform was the focal point. On another day, one of these comments was made, I had a science test. I spent the entire period prior to class crying in the bathroom. And it came time to test and I received a 75, which as a 4.0 student is the lowest grade I've ever received. And this is because my anxiety was so high. Consequently, I had to work increasingly hard all quarter to get my grade back up to an A+. I finally managed to do this 4 weeks before the end of the quarter. However, that was still not paramount to McCool staff. Not only this, but when I go to school in the morning, I am constantly concerned about what teachers or administrators will say to me or how much class time I will be exempt from due to bickering with an adult that my uniform is in standards only for them to make a snarky remark, then proceed to agree with me. So much so that I had my mother measure my skirts on a daily basis to ensure I'm meeting the standards. I'm here today as a student voice to remind you that we as girls were not made to be a distraction, and if we are, the blame isn't on us. As girls, we're not business to be handled. We're not meant to be judged by the curve of our hips, the number on the scale, the measurement of our breasts, or the circumference of our thighs. Our purpose in a school is not to be sexualized, stared at, or be deemed as a distraction. We're there to learn, to strive, and to develop into successful young women, not miss class because the adults are worried about how developed we appear to be. Something as inconspicuous as a dress code should not infringe on our education. These comments are impacting our young women's health, self-esteem, academic achievements, as well as the very reflection we see in the mirror. I'm not here for me to conquer the...
You're just over the 3-minute time, so are you?
Can I extend, please? I have about a couple sentences left.
Okay, and then, okay.
Thank you. I'm not here for me. I've managed to conquer the 3 years under these inexcusable comments. I'm here for every little girl sitting at an elementary school desk that is eager to learn, strive, and grow in a middle school, and has no desire to be sexualized because of her developing body or made to be a distraction. Growing into a young woman is difficult enough. Being a military child is hard enough. And having mental issues is already difficult enough. Grown adults whose sole purpose is to educate us should not worsen these conditions. These young women cannot stand to miss any more class time for these inappropriately natured comments. It needs to end now in order to salvage the mental stability and future of our young women. We as a school must shape our youth into what we want our future to be. Do not, as grown adults, take this power and abuse it. Make our future bright. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for your statement. We will certainly look into that. If your mom has something to say as well, we are coming to, I'm gonna have to make it 3 minutes though, just to make sure, because that went over a little bit.
Yes, I've timed mine, and I'll be honest with you, it's about 30 seconds over. So I've waited an hour and a half now, so I would appreciate the same kindness, please. Good evening. I would like to thank the board for this opportunity to speak. My name is Melissa Horgan, and I am the mother of 3 McCool students. 2 out of 3 are middle school girls. As I detail my family's experience, I would like to pose 2 questions to the board, administrators, and other education leaders and stakeholders at this meeting. What is the purpose of the dress code? And what is the goal of the implementation of the dress code? My guess is that the dress code was designed to make the school environment more conducive to learning. However, the manner in which McCool's dress code is enforced has the opposite effect. Instead, students go to school worrying about how many adults will comment on their bodies and uniform during the school day. As you can imagine, as a mother, the treatment Kaylee has received regarding her school attire is infuriating. Respectfully correcting one's uniform is fine. Commenting on one's body type is unacceptable. On March 16th, 2021, I met with Ms. Washington to discuss my displeasure with the comments some McCool teachers expressed to my daughter. After our meeting, I wrote an email summarizing our in-person discussion, and I posed 3 questions. They are as follows. Will the inappropriate nature of teachers' comments be addressed? If so, how? I wholeheartedly expressed my dissatisfaction concerning the inconsistencies in how the dress code is implemented and enforced. How will this issue be addressed? And 3, will the professional dress code for faculty and staff also be enforced to the degree that the student dress code is enforced? I received the following responses verbatim. I met with the middle school teachers to discuss various issues. We have and will continue to address students regarding the dress code. We talked as a team and have addressed the issue. According to our master labor agreement, dresses accordingly. The poorly worded, unclear, and vague nature of the responses to my questions demonstrate an intolerable level of unprofessionalism, disrespect, and apathy on the part of the McCool administration. When I received the response, I expressed those sentiments in a reply email. In addition, I stated that while this may not seem like a large issue to McCool, rest assured for a 13-year-old girl struggling with body images, this was a big deal, and one that damaged her. At that time, I was told I would receive a phone call from an administrator to discuss possible solutions. I'm still waiting for the phone call. In my final email regarding this issue, I stated that I would take my concerns elsewhere. Well, now we are elsewhere. In addition to Kaylee's experiences, my 7th grade daughter was inappropriately targeted for her attire as well. She arrived at school on the first day of the 21-22 school year, nervous and excited to begin 7th grade. However, within the first 10 minutes of her advisory class, her new teacher, who we just met, pinched a piece of her pant leg material and snapped it to her leg. This left my daughter mortified and confused. The advisory teacher explained that she was checking the pant material to ensure that they were the right material. Upon arriving home from school that day, recounting this story was the first thing she shared about her first day of school, as hours later, she still felt violated and embarrassed. Based upon education best practices, the purpose of an advisory period is to ensure that students have the opportunity to seek out help from teachers. Studies show that advisory periods help create a sense of community. Moreover, advisory periods should seek to create a strong support system for each student by supplying a single point person, their advisor, who will develop a strong relationship with them in an effort to help them navigate the social and emotional issues unique to middle school. Snapping a student's pants to her leg does not accomplish those goals. What is the purpose of McCool's advisory period? When I send my children to school, I expect their teachers to create a safe learning environment where my children can explore and learn about the world around them while building the skills they need for the future. This has not been my experience at McCool. Military families in Guam deserve a quality education from the adults entrusted to provide and create such an environment. It is my hope that these expectations.
Ms. Horgan, if you could just wrap it up. It's over 4 minutes now. We truly appreciate your concern, and we definitely will look into the issues. We have that written down, and I'm sure McCool will take care of the following issues. But we have heard you, and we appreciate your comment.
For clarity, so that other parents are aware, I was able to finish despite having to read over the interruption.
I apologize. Yeah, we need to limit it to 3 minutes a person, and we do have.
Well, there was an awful lot of time spent congratulating everybody on what a good job they're doing. So when something that comes up that makes people feel uncomfortable, they should also be respected and heard.
I definitely hear you. And if you could email that statement to the board, we will certainly look over it as well before the next meeting.
I will send both mine and my daughter's. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it. We only have about 2 minutes left of this first meeting. Is there any other, we have time for maybe one more open forum question. Okay, well, I thank you all for your time, and we will look over these, the comments that we received. I move that we adjourn this first meeting, and we will meet again on November 16th as a whole. Motion to adjourn? Okay. Thank you so much for the stakeholders that came in and listened and participated via Google Meet. Like I said, if you have any questions or comments or concerns, the Guam School Board email is available, and we will be closely monitoring that. So thank you so much, and thank you to all the stakeholders here, and we will see you in November.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. Well done. I'm sorry. Is it you? Dr.